Hello everybody, welcome to Royal Pushback and Aftermath. Can you see what we're doing today? Well, we're reading The Exorcism of Anneliese Michael. I love this thing. I just didn't have the time to wipe it clean, but that's what we're doing today. I was going to clip in my little intro that I did. However, before I get into this book, and I'll tell you exactly what chapter we're on. We're right at the top of page 30 of Priests and Physicians. And I was going to do it every day, but that wasn't a realistic goal. So on the playlist, I have All Things Britney Spears. Michael Jackson is Guilty as Sin, and Wade Robson, from what I have listened to from Cheer Denise's channel on YouTube, and she has 22,000 people, and she's read Spare, Revenge, Tales We Tell Ourselves, Thomas S., well, you know, Johnny Depp's friend's son. Britney, The Traitor King, and Revenge. She's just absolutely amazing. And I wanted her to do this book, but I'm doing my best. And so I'm just going to dive right back into where we left off. And on the playlist, you can find all the readings of The Exorcism of Anneliese Michael. You can find out why I really believe Michael Jackson is guilty, and that Wade Robson and James Safechuck are telling the truth based on Leaving Neverland, and it's called Never Forget Leaving Neverland. I also have a channel called L&L Soul Sisters, and it's such a shame because I switched phones and I can't upload on to this phone anymore. But you know, it's kind of cool. I can collaborate with myself, go over old videos and make them kind of new. Because when I look at when I started this channel, March the 23rd of 2023, and now we're in January, there's 500 people, almost 550 between the three channels. Like Lasha Rajenko, there were 33 people. I did one little episode on Russell Brand, and 33 participants joined, and I was so thrilled when I woke up in the morning and I read people what their comments were. And a lot of people ask me if I'm a drunkard or if I'm stoned all the time, and I don't know. My eyes are very small, and I was going to call it Lasha Knows Best. I kind of like that because I do know best. Now, I'm just self-disclosure here. I have a little bit of bipolar, I guess you could call it, or ADHD. So when you go onto the channel, you're not going to find a lot of consistency on a theme. But I do like to talk about royals. I do like to talk about different subjects that have interested me. But if you want to know what I'm really about, go to change.org and look at Lasha Rajenko. Don't donate money. I don't know where that money goes. Don't do it. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers to start a charity, period. And I'm going to show what I make on YouTube and give back to people that need. And if you join, you get a free tarot card read, which I don't understand. Only 4 people have asked me out of 550 people, and they're free. That's why I'm doing this. So I have 2 ghost stories that I told you I was going to share. I want to thank, actually, I didn't do a pot and pick out whose name I was going to read because I want to read all of your cards that have joined. However, I am going to do C, who left me some excellent feedback about one of my videos. And she said, I've been trying to follow along, but I can't follow along what you're saying. And I was doing a lot of videos at night when I couldn't sleep because I thought I was being productive, but it has the total opposite effect. So before I get into my stogies at night, I smoke pot. It helps my pain, and I don't care. This is special to me. Oh, and you know what? I love this light. You don't always need to stare at me, you know. Like, who wants to stare at me all the time? And I like to have brightness because this is such a dark subject. So it's by Dr. Goodman. It's called The Exorcism of Annalise Michael, based on the movie The Exorcism of Emily Rose. And here we go. I'm going to read as long as I can. Where are my glasses? Ah, the heck with it. Okay. You can follow along with this. Okay. For her to hold back on all of this, especially since those hellish faces occasionally came back to haunt her, who didn't she trust? The reason may have been nothing more than conflicting personalities. Now, don't forget, all of these were taken from an anthropologist who studied the case files after the court case. But it could have been more. I'm just going to call it Dr. L. Dr. L was born in Bernau in Berlin. While Annalise was a child of Bavaria, cultural differences cut deep between northern and southern Germany. Okay, before I go to there about northern and southern Germany, let's not forget which year she was born in. The war ended in 45. She was born in 54. Her father Joseph, her mother Anna, come from hard-working farming backgrounds in a very, very small town. The father was in the war, and Catholicism, as I said, was so deep and bred within Annalise and her family, the way Scientology is bred into Tom Cruise. And I don't say that as a joke. You can take religion whichever way you go. But Bavaria, and I showed everybody on the light bulb over here, like the light bulb, the globe, I found it. And don't laugh if I can't find it. Where the heck is Germany? This is a very old. Okay, I'm not going to waste your time, but Bavaria is like right in the middle of where all the Holocaust took place. So you cannot tell me, nobody can tell me, and I will never be convinced otherwise, that when you die, you die. And that's lights out, no one's home, and there's nothing left after that. I do not believe that. But this woman suffered in ways that, I mean, I could explain it, that she had anorexia, she was malnourished, her parents made her jump up and down and do those, on the knees. She had torn ligaments. But she refused medical attention, but she wasn't in the state of mind because she was malnourished. But when you listen to the tapes, like back in those days, they didn't have film. And the pictures, okay. So what I'm saying is, all of those demons that she thought she had in her, a disgraced priest from 1867, how would she know that? Now, I think she even spoke Aramaic. Because she was so devout, and she did extra religious studies in college as well. But remember, she wanted to be a teacher. This was 1954. The terrors that she was having could have been night terrors. The fits could have been epilepsy. but there are other things that don't make sense. One example, which is farther ahead in the book, is that the priest, the sisters, Gertrude, the father and the mother, and she had 2 other sisters and a brother, I believe. She was sitting with her hands on the table like this, and all of a sudden they started to swell and nails grew. Now, if somebody told me that happened, I would say, yeah, okay. But when I tell you at the end, not today, when I'm ready to, about the 2 experiences I had, one was not a nice experience, and the other was, it brought my mother and I closer, and they were apparitions. And I am not schizophrenic, and I'm not bipolar, meaning I'm not on medication. That's why I said go on change.org. Trauma can change your brain chemistry. I am more ADHD than anything, because when you lose 6 years of habits, you lose 6 years of working power, and it happens to many Canadians. Just, you'll have to read it. Anyways, I think, and she thought Hitler was inside her. Who knows? We don't know what goes on. Anyhow, daily honed by stereotypes about the, I don't know what this word is. This is embarrassing. Anyway, something about North and the easygoing South. Okay, PUNC, TILIUS, Pontilius North? Pontilius North. Ponticulus North? Cherry Denise, I know I'm not doing any justice to reading books. By striking devastation in dialect, and by the mutual lack of understanding of Bavarian religiosity and Northern Protestant worldliness. Sophie! Girly girl! Girly girl! Stop. Thank you, honey. Sorry, honey. Okay. Okay, so they're talking about dialect and the difference of Protestant and Catholicism and religion in Bavaria. Sophie Ann, what's going on? What's going on? Are you still thirsty? Holy smokes. I don't know if any of you saw the short that I put out of Sophie's rash, but since she's been home, I've been giving her her meds and the rash is gone. I'll show you after. Okay. All right. So, okay, so there's Protestants, there's Catholicism, and in this town there is a division, just like the political just like the Democrats and the Republicans in the States, or, you know, equivalent to the Liberals, the Conservatives, the NDP, and the Green Party in Canada. At least we have more than 2 to choose from. At any rate, what is it? You don't like this book, do you? How about food? That's why you're really crying, right? Okay, honey. Sorry, I'm not editing it out. I don't do that. Okay, nothing needed to be said. Oh my gosh, this book has words that I haven't seen since college. Okay, anyhow, okay. There's a a Bavarian religiosity and Northern Protestant worldliness, nothing needed to be said. A barely something shrug, a fleeting deprecating smile, and the message has been received, the separation made visible in exchange between Annalise and Dr. L. The young girl was the patient. The disadvantaged partner, Dr. L, the power figure, invested with all the aura that a man of science bears in Germany without knowing it. He must have set up the kind of relationship that expressed this superior-inferior role. Yeah. Do you remember back in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, right up until about 2012, right up until about 2020, 21, when that Sackler family was exposed for their corruption and their drugs? Why did I bring that up? Oh, the superiority and inferiority thing. I don't know why I thought about that. But she felt that way. Annalise perceived the need to defend herself against him, meaning the doctor. What I was trying to say is we all think doctors know best and they don't. Except for Dr. Perzada and Dr. Joel, Dr. Elisari, Dr. Glenn Mullen, the pharmacy team in Grimsby are phenomenal. Yeah. And the Rexall team is great for my mom. And she is a wonderful doctor too. We're very lucky. But that type of relationship was very normal in those days. Like, I know that Annalise is complaining about her Dr. L. To pronounce his name, I'll spell it for you. It's L. It's German. It's L with the U. Like a U and then 2 dots above it. Where's my little thing? It's like this. Hang on. Can you see it? I doubt it. Where's the U? It's like this. That's what the U looks like. That's not a very good U. I'm going to wash this tonight. The U looks like this, and his name is spelled, well, it's like a happy face. I don't think there's anything happy going on there. Okay, at any rate, in the early spring of 1973, new disturbing things began happening. Sophie Ann, no, I'm sorry. My dog is, you know, when I used to read tarot cards on TikTok for free, and I was trying to build a charity on TikTok. I don't have my YouTube on TikTok. Maybe that would help a bit. But she used to do stuff like this when I would read cards. I'm really good at it. Okay, that's enough. You've drank everything. You've eaten everything. You're going to get your pills, and then I'm going to show everybody how much better you're doing. Actually, let's just do it now. Let's give Sophie the attention she needs. She's looking for negative attention. Bobbins, come to Mama. Come to Mama. Come say hi. Say hi to everybody. This is Sophie. Remember, Sophs? Okay, sit down, baby. Sit. You want to sit in bed? You want to sit there? Good girl. You're so cute. How you get so cute? Oh, yeah. How'd she get so cute? Okay, watch. Remember how red her arms were? I thought she was getting flesh-eating disease. Look at that. And do you know it's 100% better? And she's not shaking anymore. She's not in pain anymore. This is her little bed. Aw, sweetie. I love her so much. Okay, I'm not going to read too long. She gets really sensitive when I do things like this. That's why I do it in the light. Okay, let's go quick. Okay. In the early spring of 1973, new disturbing things started to happen to Annalise. Whew, there was this knocking. I get chills when I read this. Quote, "You must have dreamt it." Anna countered. "There is this knocking in my room." Annalise would hear her mother. You must have dreamt it." Anna countered. "I heard everything." Annalise kept insisting, exasperated, exhausted. and they finally sent her to Dr. Voigt, V-O-G-T. Voigt. If you did not dream it, maybe there is something wrong with your ears. There's something wrong with your ears? Well, okay. He couldn't find anything wrong with her, referred her to a specialist, an ear doctor. Nothing was wrong with her hearing. Her hearing. She wasn't allowed to have earrings. Didn't I tell you he wouldn't find anything wrong, Dr. Luthi? He thinks that he knows everything. She has epilepsy, by the way. I hope you didn't tell her that, did you? Anna, the mother, shook her head. I hope you didn't tell her that, did you? Well, it may have something to do with that. Oh, has something to do with what? Now it says, no, Sep. No, it wasn't just Annalise. She was the first one to hear it, but the others did too. Like rapping on a chair falling over, or someone thumping inside the wardrobe underneath the floor above the ceiling. Sep did not look at her and continue unbuttoning. What? Sep did not look at her and continue unbuttoning his shirt. Did I miss something? They were talking about the thumping, and the other family member heard it, but the doctor thought she had a hearing problem. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard of. No, but... Okay. What I mean, Sep. Anna dropped her voice to a hoarse whisper. What I mean is that this might be something supernatural. She kept nervously smoothing out the pillows. Joseph's temper began to rise. I'll tell you what I think if you want to hear it. Annalise is sick. And as to her sisters, well, young girls are sometimes hysterical. Everybody knows that. So maybe that's why they heard those things. But you, a grown woman, I must say, could you imagine not being believed? And you know, I have my theory about schizophrenia. But Sep, listen, there is more. Annalise has been telling me recently that no matter what she might be doing, making her bed, playing the piano, or just looking out the window, she sees those ghastly, distorted faces. Those Fratzen. It must be German for ghastly faces. It isn't just occasionally like before. Joseph sighed. Yes, she told me that too. God only knows what that is about. But you have to understand, I can't speak. I can't even go, ah! You know how people can take the front of their tongue go, I can't do that. Well, if she told you that, did she tell you that those faces are like devils with horns? And she thinks that they are after her, and she hears voices that tell her she is damned and will go to hell forever. She trailed off into a dry sob. Who would stupidly put that in her head, Joseph said, unlacing a shoe. Unlacing a shoe. Who would put thoughts like that in her head? Who would put thoughts like that in her head? He sounds like... Anyway. Well, if she told you that, did she tell you the other faces? Okay, the devils, the horns, and she thinks they're after her. And, okay, the voices that she's damned and she's going to hell, da-da-da-da-da-da. And then he yells about stupidity, and now he let it drop with the third. Damned? That pure innocent child? His voice rising, flaring with anger. That is silly. That is bullshit. It says bullshit right there. But Sep's, underlined bullshit a little too thick, and now I can't see what the other word is. But boys, listen. Anna kept her voice very, very low. They could be devils, don't you think? The priests talk about Satan and how he is everywhere trying to tempt us. Well, hey, check mark. That's what Catholicism teaches. You ever watch The Handmaid's Tale? She would not be confronted. No, Sep, no, believe me. Something terrible, something supernatural is going on. You know that statue of the Virgin on the mantle in the living room downstairs? Well, the other day, I happened to walk through there and saw Annalise looking at the Mother of God, only it wasn't with respect or with her normal rigidity and adoration. Her face was like a terrible mask full of hatred. Her eyes turned black, jet black, and her slender hands, you know how delicate her hands are? Well, they were twitching and swelling. This girl suffered. Okay, I'm leaving it on page 32. This has got to be part 6. I'm going to put it on my playlist. Now, I'm going to tell you my ghost story. I don't care anymore. Let's darken it up a bit. I'm going to clean this off tonight, but I got this at Rose and Rhythm, just like the incense. Okay, these are really, really good products, and I have nothing to gain by sharing them with you. I told you when I'm passionate about something, I can stay on track. Before I go into Annalise, because I'm going to upload 2 readings a week, and I'll make them approximately a half an hour. I'll keep the very short, I'm just going to say, if it's Annalise Day, I'm going to say, okay, this is where we left off. Chapter 32. Here's my notes. Oh, there's no notes there, but there were here. There. Okay? This is the next book we're going to be reading. The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady. And it is about this woman right here. And I will read you more about her. And she kept a beautiful diary. And these are her own watercolors. And it's a beautiful book. And it was either my mother's friend who passed, Adele, or it was my aunt. Oh, my mother. Oh my gosh. February 2006, to Margaret from Jerry. In memory of our oldest sister, Jane Brown Carlton Lockhart, and our many outings in the country as young sisters hiking near the rivers and the valleys in Ontario, Alberta mountains from the east to the west. An Owl book, Holt, Rinchard, and Winston, New York. I did not know that my mom gave this to my godmother who passed. Look at my mom's handwriting. You've seen my mom on the clone things on the shorts. My mom is an amazing woman, and you know what? I've taken a little peruse through it, and it's not boring. Okay, Annalise. I think, well, I know, hang on a minute. It's my rosary. I know that People will think she was anorexic, she was malnourished, her parents were fanatics. However, before you dismiss what I believe, and I do believe she was possessed, and I told you there's difference between possession, a spell, and there's a word like self-convincing. Okay, sorry. We'll do spell, demonic possession, and we'll do mental illness. And I'm going to do the dictionary. I'm going to get out my Webster's dictionary, and I'm going to explain the difference and why I do think she was demonically possessed. If you don't believe in that sort of thing, that is absolutely fine. However, when she was talking about the okay, Lasha. But this is the truth. And you know what's funny? This is my aunt's shirt, too. I don't know. I did not know that my mother gave my aunt that book, and she passed away October the 2nd of 2021. Listen to my dog. Listen to my dog. This is my ADHD. You were snoring. She's snoring. Okay. So this is what, here's my first apparition story. Okay. So when I was 5 years, no, I was 5 in grade 1 because I turned 6 in the summer. Does that make sense? So, and my parents separated, and I had this picture in my room that was really, really creepy, and it was of hobbits. When I was a little girl, I was an only child, and it was my mom and I. And my grandfather was a veterinarian. My grandmother was a teacher. Now they passed when I was 24, and I'll be 53 this summer. I'm not giving you a date. Nobody's going to hack into my account. Anyways, we were living at Fathy Circle in Grimsby, and this house in Grimsby happened to be, it was like a little tiny house on a hill. So the hill was up like so, and then it kind of went down a bit, and the big house on the hill, and it's still there, must have been 5 stories high. It was an old Victorian home, and the place that we rented, because my mother was a single mom with me, was a little tiny house. I swear on my life. Now, I was really little, and I even thought the place was tiny. The living room was no bigger than this area right here, okay? This was the living room size, and my mom got bamboo, so this was the living room. Then there was a little tiny kitchen, but it was like right here, okay? And then off to here, my bedroom was probably as big as that couch. And then there was a tiny little bathroom, like maybe here. And then my mother had a little room here. And it was adorable because there was like a hole in the wall. And I would kind of watch out when she was watching Johnny Carson at night, because I'd want to stay awake. Well, I don't know what it was. I don't know whether it was because I was just really little, or whether I was scared, or I'm not sure, but all children have a fear of the dark. What I used to do is I would sing myself to sleep. I would sing myself to sleep. And so I remember the gargoyles. I remember how it could have been a dream. But when you're 5 and you remember the color of the furniture, you remember the color of the sheets when you wake up, you remember the smell, you remember what you see, and you know you're wide awake. Little children are very, very intuitive. And I believe, is there really psychopathy or whatever, or is it a spiritual thing that I'm not going to go too deep, because my main point about my little experience with that, and interestingly enough, I had anorexia, and I did conduct a video, and it's titled Eugenie. She's an anorexic on YouTube that has 2.5 million people, and I will not subscribe, I will not watch. I was anorexic from 11, actually it started around 10 to 17, and I was going to show you the picture. Now, before I show you this picture of the anorexia, I want you to remember that I was 5. Now, how can I remember this so clearly at 5? It was either like the biggest bad dream of my life that I'll never forget. And we all know that when you wake up and you dream, you barely remember them. And that's why I love to keep a diary, and I've got to be consistent with it, because since I've had those operations, I've only had a few dreams. And I'm going to tell you about one of them after this story. So, I was sleeping with my mother that night, and something woke me up, and I was just freezing. And I honestly don't remember a smell. Usually when they say it's a ghost or something, there's a smell. I don't remember a smell, but I remember being cold, not because it was cold, because I was scared. And what happened was, and this is no word of a lie, why would I lie about this? So I'm sleeping in my mom's bed, okay? My mom's fast asleep right beside me. I'm 5 years old. And right in the corner, there was a dresser right here. And right in the corner, there was something going like this. Sorry, my knees are sore. Rocking back and forth, but like right scrunched down like this. And it had red eyes. And it reminded me of those gargoyles that Jeffrey Epstein had on his stupid island, his stupid statues. And it was rocking back and forth with these red eyes. And I go, Mom, wake up. Do you see it? Do you see it? And I could see it, and she couldn't see it. And ever since, and way before then, I was so sensitive. My Baba, who passed away at 98, and why am I talking about myself? Because I believe Annalise was anorexic. I believe that she couldn't eat. I believe she did vomit. I believe that she did eat spiders. It talks about it in the book. As some of the movie is a little bit exaggerated for effect, of course, but I'll never forget seeing that. And I was 5, and then six years goes by, another 5 years goes by, I'm 10, and by the time I was 13, I worked my way down to this. My Nana had Alzheimer's. My mother was a single mother. She was the only woman in the house. I was anorexic. I look like I'm 40 years old there. It's not a joke. And I swear to you, I said to my mother when I was about 12, and I was, it breaks my heart that Eugenie puts up this channel about anorexia. And people send her money to get her to change her outfit. That is sick. And when I did my protest against her channel, I don't know if it would crush her, because they've also learned that anorexia has a genetic disorder as well. But I remember trying to eat, and I wanted to, and I couldn't. I had to have a blood transfusion. I had a piece of my bone marrow taken out. I either had it was a hematologist told me that if I even cut myself, my blood wouldn't clot. I'd bleed to death. And he said, if you don't eat, you're going to die. So when I had the blood transfusion, I said, Mom, stop at Harvey's. Can we eat? I'm going to eat. And then I just ate and moved on with my life. So you think, but we'll get back to that. All I'm saying is there are some things that she went through that I know. I'm not schizophrenic, but I live to tell the tale. And just other things, but I'll just one thing at a time. I don't want to overwhelm all of you. Listen, thank you so much for joining me. And see, I'm not going to do your reading tonight, to be honest. Actually, I probably will. And you know what? See, I am going to do it right now. My cards are upstairs. You know who you are. You sent me that wonderful feedback about how I was up in the middle of the night. I wasn't making any sense. I watched that video and I thought, I can't even believe that people watched it. And you were kind enough to take the time to comment to see if I was okay. I was okay, trust me. But I don't know if you remember, but we lived here 7 months ago, left, moved over on another part of Grimsby where somebody was shot. Instead of everybody getting pickles up their noses about credit scores, why don't you do criminal checks? Renting's outrageous in Canada right now. Oh, by the way, my favorite guy here, The Untold Truth. Cheery Denise is going to pick a book about Diana. Cheer Denise, Cheere Denise. I'll show you. She's my fave. Oh, here's me. Look, what a dummy I am. Look what I did. So look, I've got Lasha Rajenko. Look, 54 people. Wonderful. They joined. I felt so honored, right? That was the very first channel I did on my computer that my uncle got me. And then I started doing see, that was 2 months ago, and I was doing, keeping on track. This was the very first video that I ever made on March the 23rd of 2023. This is how bad it is. This is almost, well, I don't know what happened there, but that's not the right one. Okay, so then you go over here, and I started L&L Soul Sisters. That's 267 people, plus 54, that's what, 1, 2, 3, 17, right? And then, I'm so dumb, 317, there it is, look. And then there's Royal Pushback Aftermath. 317 and 139 is 446. There's almost 440 people between 3 channels. And I started it March the 23rd of 2023. I couldn't figure it out. I would try to read the directions, but when you have ADHD, your eyes go all over the place, and I will not take Ritalin. I will not take anything for that. Nothing. But that's what happened to me. That's the reading of Annalise. This is the longest video I've made in a long time. I am going to go and do, yes, I know I preened my hair. I did give myself my own haircut, and I was super proud of it. I'm tired of putting myself down all of the time. So I'm going to continue to be kind to myself. You do the same. And tell me what you think of this book. If you hate it, dislike it, and tell me why. If you think my present sucks and I'm never going to go anywhere, tell me. If you think that I could do better, tell me. I spent a year in a wheelchair. Don't forget to go to Lasha Rodjenko, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Everything is being uploaded onto Royal Pushback Aftermath, but I still do lives on Lasha Rodjenko because I like to. And whichever channel gets to 1,000, I don't care how long it takes. Because I really enjoy this, and I said to my mom, I don't like to go out. I like to have one-on-one. I'm not a bar person, and I love to sing. I used to go to open mic nights and such, but I get really nervous in front of a crowd. And I think that's why I do the singing and the dancing online. It's not because I think I'm great. When I sing and dance online, I'm hoping that people are doing it with me. Anyways, in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, or in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and the house of the universe, or as Lady Gaga said, in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the house of Gucci. What movie would that be from, do you think? Do you remember what movie this is from? No, you don't. But there were people that never mind, I'm leaving. L&L Soul Sisters, there's a huge community page. There's a community page on Royal Pushback Aftermath and L&L Soul Sisters. So I've been feedbacking YouTube on how I get these channels together so that I'm like halfway, we are halfway to 1,000. And if you go to Lasha Rodjenko on change.org, I don't care anymore. Hit subscribe, watch the video, and like it and comment. Yes, that's the way it should be. I do it all the time. But I wanted to tell you, Andrew Gold is my favorite, and the Epstein names came out today, and he was the first one on the roll. Now, I like Popcorn Planet and everything, but there's something about Andrew that's just so real, and he's so smart, and he started a brand new channel called Heretics. Where's Andrew Gold, my favorite? No, not you, Lasha. Get out of Dodge. Clear yourself out of there. So stupid. Where's my Andrew? Here he is. Okay, so he has the latest and the greatest. This is his page, Andrew Gold. Now I joined, it was like $35 or $25 to join his channel, but it is so worth it. Yeah, this was 3 hours ago. So go to Andrew Gold if you want to find out about Epstein. And he's doing this channel called Heretics. Doesn't he look cute? He's got a fiance. I'm so disappointed he has a fiance.
Prince Andrew and Bill Clinton are among high-profile figures named in U.S. court papers.
He's reading it off of Google, I think. But he's a journalist, and he did a book on exorcisms. And he has 215,000 people. And he has another channel called Heretics, and he actually interviewed the man who wrote
though no wrongdoing is alleged. Now,
The
we
Traitor
must remember
King,
this. There's another
about
witch
David who
hunt.
advocated
It
the
is, in a
throne,
sense.
Queen
You've got to
Elizabeth's
remember that everyone
uncle,
here is a witch.
and
Most
Harry's
people here may have
great
just
uncle.
innocently been involved. Of course, there were
As
rumours,
Cheery
and there
Denise
were, I
says,
think he
the
was actually
original
caught in
Marion,
the
or sorry,
late
Harry and Hagen.
2010, 2000, what do you call them, the zeros? Like 2007, was it?
This is Andrew Gold.
2009, so things were public about Epstein at this point. So on the one hand, nobody should just be guilty by association. They may not have been involved in any of this stuff. A lot of people suggest they had no knowledge of the crimes of Epstein. Clinton appears in a number of the documents.
Of course he
Clinton
does.
has acknowledged being a former associate of Epstein, but has strongly denied he had any knowledge.
That's the Clinton strategy. Deny, pivot, attack. You know how people will say, if you ever watched that Netflix series about Hillary, this is the ADHD, okay? So Andrew Gold, watch him. It just came out a few hours ago. Bill Clinton, I don't know. I think that doesn't matter what I think. They have a child. And to me, Chelsea Clinton, I watched her grow up. And anyways, Andrew Gold has heretics. And the reason I say Cheer Denise, it's Cheere Denise, because she reads the book and she's so good and she's hilarious and she's 3 children and just amazing. And Andrew Gold, I love him. And the Sean Atwood book, Who Killed Epstein, I haven't read it, but also Andrew Gold wrote a book. So I would suggest that people write it. And you know what? I wish I was getting paid to do this, but I'm not. I told you if I feel passionate, I'll follow through. So I just gave you something to gnaw on. If you can't watch the whole video, just take some time. But I don't think this is a bad one. I'm actually quite pleased with it. I might even watch it. I used to watch my videos after I uploaded them, and I don't anymore. Now I know why Johnny Depp said he can't watch his own movies. It's just too weird. At any rate, bye Andrew, I'm gonna watch you now. As I always say, take care of yourself. I'll do the same. And Sophie is on the mend, everybody. Okay. Happy New Year. And don't forget bell notification. Subscribe. Give me a chance. Hit like and comment, even if you watched 5 or 10 minutes of it. It would mean a lot to the algorithm at Google and a lot to me, more than anything. Okay.